Usually Nick Kypreos joins us in the final half hour on Tuesdays. He has been kind enough to join us a little early. Holy crap, the last hour. I'll just open the door to you. What jumps out at you over the last hour? Leafs, Oilers, Kane to the Rangers?
I just think that, a couple teams addressed some blue line help the last little while. The one that we just saw in Edmonton, Ekholm, regarded as one of the better shutdown guys in the league. I know he's getting up there in age, but I still think that he's got 2-3 prime years ahead of him. Should cover off his contract. I like the fact that Edmonton didn't have to give up one of their young studs in Broberg or Evan Bouchard. Mm-hmm. Even for the Leafs to go and do what they've done in the last 24 hours and not give up Matthew Nyes or Fraser Minton. And there's a name that hasn't been kind of bantered around, but a lot of teams were asking the Toronto Maple Leafs about Fraser Minton, and so far didn't cost Kyle Dubas those two gems.
When you think about what's come off the roster for both of these teams, I mean, some of it is shocking when you think about Jesse Puljujarvi going to Carolina and apparently no retained salary on Puljujarvi. You're able to get that cap space and then help turn it into Mattias Ekholm. For those Oilers fans that don't know what they're getting, I mean, earlier today, Ken Holland said he'd be willing to part with a first-round pick for a rental. He got much more than a rental. This is the first year of a 4-year deal. I know you said he's 32 and he's getting up there, but this is like a real deal shutdown defenseman that's in, like, is it Nurse and Ekholm now?
I got to think that they're going to lead the way in some way, shape, or form. But they're getting a guy that's got experience as well and, comes from a long list of defending. Nashville Predators, you look over their history, have produced some of the best defensemen we've had in the last 10, 15 years. Go back to Shea Weber, Roman Josi. These guys know how to play defense. He knows how to defend. And that's ultimately a key component to winning Stanley Cups. Love the offense, but you got to have guys that can mind the fort. And Ekholm did it as well as anybody the last few years, and we'll do it well in Edmonton.
Do you think that's it for Ken Holland and the Edmonton Oilers? I mean, these are two pretty significant moves if you include Puljujarvi among the significant moves.
Well, I mean, getting Barrie's contract out of there was the savior in all of this to bring on Ekholm's contract. Again, teams are still pressed up against the cap here in Edmonton. There's no question with this. I don't know how much wiggle room there is and how much movement you want to continue. They look pretty good. They were obviously a move or two away from competing against the Boston Bruins last night. But Ekholm can come in and change the scope of even a last night's hockey game by a goal by the Boston Bruins to win it. The Leafs are in the same predicament. We've seen Kyle Dubas doing a lot of shuffling, but at the end of the day, still couldn't make the cap work without getting rid of Pierre Engvall's contract as well. Mm-hmm. That enabled him to swing the deal for Luke Schenn or Gustafson out of Washington.
It's interesting when you look at, there's two leading defense scorers moving right now in the last little while. Tyson Barrie is one of them, 43 points, leads the way. Reed Schaefer's a 19-year-old who's a 32nd overall pick. So there are significant pieces going back the other way for Ekholm. And when it comes to Gustafson, he would lead the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now that he's on the team, he would lead them in defense scoring. So you move Sandin, who in the morning skate, when they were doing lines, wasn't even in their top 6. Now, I know that he is a good defenseman and has played well for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and a lot of people think that he's an analytics darling. I would question that playing as a third-line guy because sometimes you get favorable matchups there. But did you think that was a lot to give up for the Toronto Maple Leafs to make about $500,000 in cap space?
No, I don't. And at the end of the day, you did turn Sandin into a first-round pick. As the Boston first rounder leaves Washington and heads over. I think it's a wash at best, Gustafson for Sandin. I know the age is
a little bit different,
a little different, but I didn't see Sandin coming in and being a difference maker for the Toronto Maple Leafs this season. Mm-hmm. And Gustafson still, to me, is a guy that can play in your third pair, maybe on the first 2 games against the Tampa Bay Lightning, he's not even in the lineup. But if anything was to happen to Riley on the power play, I don't think you're worried about him coming in and maybe quarterbacking. But
look at the depth. In the
little bit
blue line all of a sudden.
A lot different. Connor Timmins has come in, made some noise, but this guy should not see any power play time with the guys in front of him. A good project continuing into the next few years for Connor Timmins, but a much deeper blue line, a tougher blue line. Luke Shen possibly going up against Tanner Janot, who just came in and wants to show some muscle in that first round. Leafs got some guys that can go shoulder to shoulder.
Okay, I want to hammer down on a couple of things, including getting some tweets for you from our audience. But it's obvious that the Toronto Maple Leafs are all in. I'm going to ask a tough question.
Yeah.
Is this the wrong year for the Toronto Maple Leafs to be all in?
The Leafs are Kyle Dubas.
Well, I think those are
Kyle needs to do this.
Kind of, sort of intertwined.
Kyle's in it to save his job right now. So for him, as long as he's got the green light from Brendan Shanahan and the MLSE board, this is all about him trying to extend another year out of a contract or a multi-year.
Might there not be Leaf fans saying, why wasn't this the case last year or the year before?
That's a fair argument, 100%. And it needed, this is the roster he probably should have started a lot earlier. And whatever the case is, we're going to find out in a real short hurry whether or not the moves have been made in time for him. But at least it gives him some sort of a fighting chance.
Literally and figuratively.
That prior lineup, top 5 regular season, didn't matter. You weren't going shoulder to shoulder, toe to toe with the likes of Tampa Bay and Boston again. And that's where your playoffs start. He's had since November to build a roster that he thought could go shoulder to shoulder, and now I think he has one.
I think, did you hear what Tom Fitzgerald, we're going to take the break, and I promised the producers, we're going to get to a bunch of tweets, send them in at Tim and Friends. Did you hear what Tom Fitzgerald said after they got Timo Meier about how everything changes in the postseason? I think there's like a bunch of Leaf fans that were going, yeah, like we were saying that 3 years ago, 4 years ago.